Hi, I'm Tracy Longa, and welcome to the CasiKNOW show. We have something extremely different and unique for the show today. I came out about a week ago for personal business, and I arranged to have a tour of the Wynn Resort and the Encore. And as I was going through the hotel, and the backstage things that were going on and all of the details, I just kept thinking to myself that I wish everybody in Foxboro could have this same experience that I'm having. It completely surprised me how much really goes into a resort, and that I know a lot of people in Foxboro have this picture in their head of it being an old-time gambling hall, and it's just so far from that. So after going through that, I actually contacted Wynn again and asked if there was a way that we could show some of the areas that I had gone through. And they very graciously offered it up, and I chose, I think, some really fascinating areas to look at it, and I think that you're all going to be very surprised and interested, and I hope you enjoy the areas that I picked out for you to see. Thank you. Hi, Yasmin. It's so nice to meet you. We're in a special section of the Wynn, and I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about where we are and what your role is here.
Absolutely. We are in the food and beverage warehouse here at the Wynn, and we have several coolers, and as you can see behind us here, we have one dedicated strictly for live lobster, and this is basically my office. I am employed on staff here through the engineering department as a seafood and lobster tank specialist. So my responsibilities full-time are to take care of the tanks. So I monitor the pumps, the filtration system. I test the water chemistries every day, process all the lobsters that we have coming in. And as far as the product load, we carry Maine lobsters, Canadian lobsters. We even have specialty lobsters that we have coming in from Australia. We have spiny lobsters, slipper lobsters. They come from Africa. And then our pride and joy are our langoustines.
Yeah. And you're actually a marine biologist, right? And that fascinates me because I never knew a marine biologist would work at a resort casino, so it is fascinating. And you bring everything in and take care of everything, and then for the restaurants. How is it unique here at the Wynn compared to other places?
Well, we have such a large scale that we have here. We have 18 outlets just at the Wynn that we're supplying lobsters to. And just out of the Maine lobsters, we're going through about 3,000 every month, just through this room, supplying into those restaurants. So that doesn't even include catering and banquets or any special events. So we have a huge volume that comes through this room.
And when they come in, how long do you take care of them before they make it to the restaurants?
The Maine lobsters are in here for about 3 to 4 days. That's about the maximum. So we don't feed them here. And that's natural in their environment. They're not eating every single day. So they're in my care for about 3 to 4 days, and then they're sent up to the restaurants, and they're cooked fresh. So it's a very fresh product that we're able to give to our clients and our guests that are staying with us. And it just really makes for a really wonderful experience for them.
Wonderful. And how long have you been with Wynn?
I actually opened with the hotel. So before it opened, I started here, got all the pumps and tanks ready, and have been here since. So it's been a little over 7 years now.
Well, and I would think being a marine biologist, this would be a very unique job that you may not have expected. What do you like about working here? What's been a surprise or things that you've really enjoyed?
Well, coming from the marine background, I dealt mainly with dolphins, and I was studying whales, and of course coming to the desert, we don't have those here. So what's been really unique for me is working at a hotel is working with the chefs. I'm not very familiar with, I don't cook at all, so I'm not familiar with the whole restaurant side of things. So it's been a really great learning experience working with them and seeing how the product that I take care of, how they can turn that around and make it a great meal for our guests and a great experience for them.
Wonderful, and thank you so much for meeting with me and giving me the tour, and it is fascinating, and I would have never expected something like this down here, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, we're in the employee dining room right now with David Snyder. He's the executive chef, and David, can you tell me about your role here and how long you've been with Wynn and a little bit more about what you do?
Hi, my name is David Snyder. I've been here for 7 years. I'm originally from Milford, Pennsylvania, a small town in northeastern Pennsylvania. My ultimate role here is I'm responsible for all the food that's served in the hotel. That includes all the fine dining restaurants, all our support kitchens, employee cafeterias such as this, and responsible for the F&B warehouse.
Great, thank you. And I just have some different questions for you, but the food looks very extensive. How many different varieties of food and different types, and how do you decide what to serve in here?
So we have an 18-day menu rotation, which includes 25 different hot items. There's a salad bar, 2 different soups a day. We have a sandwich station, which are kind of made to order. And then how we come up with the menu is every month we do a kind of like a menu cutting where the chefs will make all new dishes, and me and my group of chefs will taste them and we'll pick the individual stuff. And we also do monthly forums with our employees. So what items would they really like that we're not offering? And on top of that, we'll do recipe contest. So we'll ask for submissions of recipes, we'll cook them, we'll try them, and then we generally pick one recipe a month that we feature in the staff dining room for our employees.
Wow, that's amazing. How many employees come through here on a daily basis?
We have roughly 4,500 employees a day rotate through this space 7 days a week, so quite a lot.
What do you feel is unique about what you offer and the employee offerings at the Wynn compared to other locations?
One thing we do here is we really like to do a large variety of stuff. We have vegan items, we have very healthy items. We try to keep things that are authentic to our folks that are working here. You'll notice that we have a Chinese station, there's a Mexican station behind us. The 18-day menu rotations are really Pacific on different nationalities because we do have such a variety of nationalities working here.
Right. And I was looking around at the food and it looks absolutely amazing. I wouldn't mind eating here every day myself. And the place is beautiful. Why do you feel it's important to Wynn Resorts to offer something like this to their employees? And do the employees pay for eating in here?
So the reason we offer something like this to our employees is really to give back to them because they're here taking care of our guests on a daily basis. And a lot of them, this is not only their meal time, but it's also their break area. So they'll eat their meal. There's TVs that they can watch their favorite shows on. There's cushions there, so it's a pleasant place to sit. And then no, the employees don't have to pay for their meal, so we pick up the tab for that. So that's quite nice.
That's fabulous. And I walked through really quickly, and the dining room area is beautiful. Do you mind walking me through there and showing me a little bit of it?
My pleasure.
Thank you. Now we are in one of my favorite places that I have seen since I've been at the Wynn. We're in the chocolate room, so this is fabulous. And this is Pierre Gattel. Thank you so much for agreeing to speak with me today. Can you tell me a little bit more about your role and what you do here at the Wynn?
I'm the executive pastry chef for Wynn and Encore, and we produce all the pastry for the whole hotel.
How long have you worked for Wynn, and how do you feel about working for Wynn? What has been your experience here?
It's been a great experience. I'm glad to be part of a team who is trying to achieve such a great guest experience on an everyday basis. And we produce for above 15 outlets, and it's been over 7 years that I work in the Wynn Hotel.
Okay, and I noticed that there's different kitchen areas. What are the area? We're in the chocolate area right now, but what other types of things do you do in the Wynn?
Yes, so we have the Danish room, the chocolate room, the cake room. We have our award-winning Flora Gababian in the cake room as a cake artist who can provide any requests on the special occasion birthday cake or wedding cake. We also do chocolate for retails or room service, and we have a large selection on every item.
So are all the chocolates at the Wynn produced down here?
Yes, of course. Yes, they are.
And so they're not brought in. That was fascinating to me, that everything, even in the stores, is produced here and not brought in.
No, we may be one of the last hotel in Las Vegas who doesn't buy pre-finished produce. We made everything from scratch. We even import our butter and roll our croissant by hand every morning.
And you were just talking a little bit about the cake specialists. I would think that that would be a very specialized job. And what are some of the things that they work on?
They can do about anything. We have 5 employees with a head chef over there who is Flora Gababian, and they usually customer come with already something in mind, and I think we achieve at each time, try to fulfill what they was looking for at the best we can, and we go from extravagant idea or something they see in a magazine. So it's very interesting. At each time it's something different.
That is, and how do you support all of the restaurants in the Wynn?
We have a team with about 9 people, with a restaurant chef named Joel Gonzalez, and we rotate menu every 3 months. We go through a different selection based on, sometimes it can be working for doing a menu for a fine dining Japanese restaurant as a tempura pineapple with a spicy sauce, or a New York style deli. But every time it's very interesting to accomplish these tasks who are very different from each other.
And do you get to be creative and suggest things to the chefs at the restaurants?
Yes, of course. So first we get feedback from the chef of if he was Devin the last time from the Japanese restaurant where he wanted to work for about a melon dessert, and have different type so they don't look like each other, with one fry, one cream, one chocolate, and don't repeat ourselves if we do a selection of sorbet and ice cream if we already have it in a menu, to make sure when the customers sit down we give them a maximum of choice.
Here now we're in the pastry shop, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and it looks like there's a lot of things going on back here. What are they making?
So they are making macaron. Vincent is doing some biscuits. They're producing for the whole pastry shop. Each team have a task, and we produce all the baking are done on the afternoon, so we can build the cake later on. So the macaron is for banquet, and it's about an everyday routine.
Okay, so you do all the pastries for the banquets as well as the restaurants?
Yes, we do banquet, who is our main customer, but we also do the buffet, the both home service, society, Red 8, Wingley, country club, terrace point, and etc., etc. We almost do the whole hotel.
Wow, that's very extensive. How many employees do you have, and what type of specialists do you have on staff?
We are around 60 employees with a manager in every team, from the afternoon to restaurant, chocolate room, cake room, or the Danish. And we've been working together for quite some time. We even go eat at the cafeteria together to recap on what the day is going to be and maximize our time on where we stand and being in sync with each other. So.
Fabulous. Sounds like there's a lot of very interesting jobs here, and I have to say it smells fabulous in here. I could just stay here all day, but thank you so much for taking time out to talk with me. Okay, well, now we are in the horticulture area, which is absolutely amazing and smells fabulous. Another area like that. And I have Gary Kramer here with me. And Gary, would you mind telling me what your role is and what your department does at the Wynn?
I'm the director of horticulture, and basically what I do is oversee all of the flowers, trees, shrubs, and plants inside and outside of the property. This is our floral studio here, and all of the flowers that we put inside the hotels for restaurants, the retail areas, conventions, and weddings are developed in this studio and transferred back upstairs throughout the resort.
I have to say, when I first walked into the hotel, it's the floral arrangements and everything just hits you. It's everywhere. The flowers are beautiful, and even just little places on a table next to the elevator or in the rooms or different places like that. Can you tell me a little bit more about the areas that you supply and what you do and how often?
Well, with horticulture, it touches every part of this property. We have flowers and gardens in every restaurant, in our pools, public spaces, the lobbies. Everywhere you go, you're going to see some flowers and plants. And we have a team that takes care of all of that. There's quite an operation to keep it all looking perfect. Our florists go through every area every single day and refresh the flowers. We change them out once a week. In the atrium at Wynn, we have 3,000 mum plants, and we change those out every 3 weeks. They're in containerized pots. So it's just constantly paying attention to the details of all these spaces every day that makes it look so great.
Wow, that's fascinating. I also, when I walked out by the pool area, I walked out the door and just the smell of the plants and everything out there. So you're also in charge of the gardens, the outdoor landscaping,
Correct.
And what all goes into that?
Well, we have 13 and a half acres outside, and we have 35 gardeners that do the maintenance out there. It's kind of hard in Las Vegas because it's very hot, cold, or windy. Those are kind of our three climates out there, so it's a challenge to keep it all looking great. I think our goal here is to just create a lush, comfortable environment when people walk into the resort. Las Vegas tends to be, the native desert environment's kind of harsh and sharp, and we're just the opposite when you walk into this place. And that's the feeling we want to provide.
Right, you're absolutely right. And I would think that there's a lot that goes into knowing what kind of plants will survive and how much to water them to make them. Every plant out there was absolutely beautiful at every time. So what kind of background do you have, or people that work for you have, that goes into that?
My background is in nurseries. I managed nurseries for 17 years before I came to do this. And I also have some schooling in horticulture, and most of our gardeners and florists do as well. So there's a combination of years of experience and education that goes into all of this. We also have some very sophisticated systems in place. For the outside, we have a irrigation system that's computerized, so it helps us monitor the weather and water accordingly. There's over 400 valves out there that just give the right amount of water at the right time to everything we've got on the outside of the property.
So your department even needs IT professionals,
Yes,
huh?
Yes, we keep them busy all the time.
Yeah,
Yes.
you would never think of that. And we talked about the grounds and the plants that you do upkeep, but you also do things for special events or banquets.
Right.
And how does all of that work? How do you get the orders?
Okay. Well, basically, they come in on a computer system as well. So the concierge will feed us orders that guests may ask for deliveries to their room, or restaurants for an event. We also do weddings. We have a wedding salon, and we provide over 1,000, or flowers for over 1,000 weddings a year on our property. And a lot of those are just last-minute pop-ups, so we're ready for anything. We have a lot of sources for our flowers, so if it's something that we can get, we'll find it.
Okay, and you keep some flowers in supply here, but where do you get your flowers from in general, or in short notice?
All of our flowers come from all over the world. We actually have a personal shopper at the Los Angeles Flower Mart, and they scope that every week for us for some really unique specialty flowers that you won't see anywhere else, and we incorporate them into our displays, our public displays, and even our events. So if there's anything that you want, if it's available, we'll get it.
That's amazing. And how many people do you have working in your department?
Our department has 95 employees. We have
Doing flowers for the
20 florists, and we have 25 gardeners inside the building. We can take care of 12,000 plants on the inside of the hotel, and then we have 35 gardeners that take care of the outside of the property. And then we have managers and supervisors in addition to that.
Wow, absolutely amazing. I don't think people walking through the hotel have an idea of what really goes into that. And is there any area that I haven't asked about that you would like to share with us, or any expertise in your department? Or
I think for me, the joy of working in this department is our guests, and what I like to do is stand back and watch their reaction when they come into this place, and see them smile and see a sense of awe when they come into the building. And if they do that, I know I've done my job, and our team has done their job. So that's the goal here, and hopefully that's what we accomplish every day.
Absolutely. Well, I can see people having that reaction all the time, because it really is overwhelming when you walk in. It is amazing and it's beautiful.
Right.
And
on a last note, I'd like to say that, for me, the best part about this job, or the number one thing that comes to mind, is Mr. Wynn's appreciation of horticulture and his dedication to our department and what we do, so that we can have the resources to create this experience for our guests and our employees. It's just a fun place to work. So
fabulous. That's great to hear, and thank you so much.
thank you.
Mhm. Okay, now we are in the Wynn Theater, which is where Le Rêve, the show, is, and it's absolutely amazing. I've never seen a round theater before. And I have Dale Hurt here with me. And do you mind telling me about what you do here and your role and responsibilities?
I'm the operations technical director for the theater. That means I'm responsible for all the crew, all the equipment in the theater, and the theater itself, keeping it running every day.
Okay. And how long have you been here involved?
I'm employee number 86 on the property. I got to help build the theaters from the ground up. I came here a year and a half before we opened the show.
And what goes into keeping the show going day after day?
Well, we have 2 crews here. It starts at 7:15 in the morning and goes to about 1 o'clock in the morning, 7 days a week. We have a maintenance crew in the daytime, maintaining all the equipment and working rehearsals. Then we have a show crew that comes in the afternoon and runs the whole show.
How many employees do you have working in here?
That I'm responsible for, I have over 130 technicians in here between the day and the night crew.
And what about the performers and all of the employees in the shows? Do you interact with them throughout?
Technically we do, yeah. As far as all the equipment that the performers have to use in the show falls under the technical department. And so we're also hands-on with them at night running the show, hooking up to lines, lifter lines, those type of things, having them props. Also with the scuba divers in the pool, those fall under the technical department, so they're there to catch them,
Actually,
move them around the pool.
I just met an employee here today whose husband is a scuba diver, and she was telling me all about it, and it really sounds fascinating and very technical. What exactly does the scuba diver do?
It's a scuba diver here is basically a stagehand, but their job is to swim and be a stagehand. So we have scenery that lives in the pool. That scenery has to go onto the lifts, be attached to the lifts, as well as those divers are in there, and it's well choreographed that when a performer jumps in a pool, we know where they're going to be. A diver is sitting there with a second stage regulator. That performer's out of air from dancing, doing whatever acrobatics they're doing. They put out the regulator. The performer reaches out, grabs it, sticks it in their mouth. The diver takes them and swims them off stage, out of sight of the audience.
And as you said, you've been here for a while, and I was curious what you think about working here and your role and your job and working for Wynn.
I came from the Mirage, working for Wynn before, and when this opportunity came to come and work over here, I was immediately on it, no question. There was no hesitation. I love working for Mr. Wynn and the Wynn Corporation, and my feeling, he does things right.
It truly is amazing, just looking at the theater and what must go into this. So thank you so much for talking with me today.
Enjoy the show and come back in a year and see something different.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So as you can see, this is no general old-time gambling hall. There is so much more to this resort and what goes into it, and all the fabulous departments and the jobs, and they're interesting and technical and unique. And one thing that stuck out for me was the creativity that every one of the people that I talked to were encouraged and able to do, and it made them feel like they're working at a different company than some other companies that they've worked at, where they're basically given policies and procedures and, told what to do. And there's a lot of people here that feel like they have a say in what happens every day. And it's something that I really picked up on. So I hope that everybody enjoyed the areas that we were able to show you and enjoyed it as much as I did, and how unique and unusual and really what I wasn't expecting. And hope everybody enjoyed it. And thank you for watching the show. And thank you very much for Wynn for letting me come in here and talk to everybody. Thank you.